If you found a winning ad, don't touch it. That's what most people think. But here's what actually happens. You launch a creative, it starts converting, and over time, CPA drops. And then what do most buyers do? They duplicate it 15 times, or they change the hook, they change the body, they change some of the visuals, they refresh it, but it never performs like the original. Not because the market stopped working, because they changed the signal. If you found a winning creative, the goal isn't to reinvent it. The goal is to iterate on it intelligently. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly some of my favorite ways of how to optimize and scale a winning ad. And one of the most underrated ways to do it, which is testing the tone of voice. Same offer, same promise, different emotional frequency. Let's break it down. Before we get into iteration, you need to understand something fundamental. When an ad wins, it's not random. It's telling you that the market validated something. It may have validated the hook, the promise, the angle, the emotional trigger. That's pretty much what the signal is. And what happens is that most people destroy performance because they start changing the signal instead of isolating it. They think, let's make it better. Let's make it more creative. Let's make it different. But different isn't always better. If an ad is working, your job isn't to reinvent it. Your job is to preserve the core mechanism that made it work in the first place. Iteration is essentially controlled variation. So basically, you don't want to change the promise, the main angle, the value proposition. You change one lever at a time. Because when you isolate variables, you learn. When you learn, you scale. So before we get into tone of voice testing, understand this. If you don't protect the signal, you can't scale the system. Now let's talk about the various ways you can actually iterate a winning creative without killing performance. Let's say you have a winning ad. CPA is stable, it's spending, it's consistent. Now the question becomes, how do you scale it without breaking it? Obviously you can increase spend, but spend isn't always the main solution because as you increase spend, you need to test more creatives, which means you need to test more winning angles. So the key is that once you find a winning ad, you pull one lever at a time. Here are some of the main ones: persona, gender and age framing, the setting, the format, the editing style. But one of my favorite ways to test, and come to think of it, most buyers never do this at all, which is insane. The most underrated lever in paid social: tone of voice testing. Tone doesn't change the offer. It doesn't change the promise. It doesn't change the mechanism. It changes the emotional frequency. And that matters more than most people realize. Two people can read the exact same message. One feels motivated. The other feels attacked. Another feels reassured. Why? Because buyers are in different emotional states. Some are frustrated. Some are skeptical. Some anxious, some are ambitious, some need authority, some need empathy. Same product, same message, different psychology. When you test tone of voice, you're not testing a new angle. You're testing which emotional frequency resonates hardest with its core signal. And here's the important part. Tone allows you to scale without destroying the winner. You're not reinventing, you're amplifying. So instead of asking, how do I make a brand new ad? You're asking, which emotional state converts best with this winning angle? That's a much smarter question to ask. Let me show you some real world examples of how this works in practice. One of my clients is a weight loss app. The core promise is very simple: lose weight with a daily simple plan. Now, watch what happens when we change the tone. A concise, authoritative, commanding tone sounds like this: stop guessing, start losing. Track, adjust, lose. A humorous tone sounds like this: your fridge knows you're lying. Gym membership 1, you 0. A bold and provocative tone sounds something like this: your excuses are heavier than your goals. If you're not tracking it, you're not changing it. A formal or institutional tone sounds something like this: a structured approach to sustainable weight loss. Evidence-based tracking for real results. This appeals to logical thinkers. A motivational tone sounds something like this: become the version of you keep imagining. This is where your new chapter starts. A casual or friendly tone sounds something like this: no more complicated diets. Track it, forget it, live your life. An empathetic tone sounds something like this: tired of starting over? You're not lazy, you just need a plan. A question-based tone sounds something like this. What if losing weight was just numbers? Tracking everything or guessing? Questions create internal dialogue. A confident tone sounds something like this. A smarter way to lose weight. Or thousands have done it, so can you. An educational tone sounds like this. How tracking protein speeds fat loss. Why most diets fail without data. Now you're appealing to analytical thinkers. A calm tone sounds something like this. Small changes, real results. No rush, just progress. An optimistic tone sounds something like this. A healthier you is possible. You don't need perfect, just consistent. Hope-based messaging converts to people that don't respond to pressure. We didn't change the app, the promise, or the structure. Only the emotional frequency changed. And what you will see is oftentimes one tone will drastically outperform others. And every vertical is different. That's psychological fragmentation through tone. Here's how you get started with setting up a tone of voice test. Take your winning ad and identify what is winning. Don't assume it, identify it. The idea is to protect the core signal. And then write 8 to 10 tone variations. Commanding, empathetic, humorous, educational, bold, calm, confident, and then test it in a controlled testing structure and then analyze the winner. I actually have a specific way of testing these types of things. If you want to see a walkthrough of me going over a tone of voice test in the ads manager, just comment below and I'll be happy to show you.